Oh, hello.
Howdy, Coach. You want to
How
get
we
us
doing?
started? All good. You want to get us started with an opening statement?
I'm late because Elmendorf was telling me a story about the Rams, so it's his fault. We're talking about the Rams, but I did listen. I did stop and listen. So, okay. But no, going back, proud of our team. It was great to play after 3 weeks. 3 weeks is a long time not to play. Come back and get a victory against a very good opponent who was very talented. LSU team was good. We need to get that win. It was a conference win, a divisional win. As I say, those are double whammies, I used to call them. I mean, because they're not only in your league, they're on your side of the division. So it's always important. You have to learn to play against those guys and play well. It was great that we come back and did that. Proud of our team to be able to come out with a victory. Like I say, coming back after 3 weeks like that and come back and play hard. I thought our defense was outstanding in the game. Our front was very dominating, controlled the run game very well, got pressure on the quarterback. I thought we blitzed well on the night, affected the quarterback, got 2 critical turnovers, one down there in scoring zone, the other, and got a score, which is always critical when you can do that. Thought offensively we were inconsistent. I thought we did some good things early, hit a couple big runs at times. We're not very good with consistency, and it went all the way across the board. Whether we missed it, everybody took turns. Whether when you look at the film, whether it was a guard, a tackle, a tight end, a back, missed a cut, quarterback could have made some throw. We had some throws we should have made, a couple situations we should have made, dropped a couple balls, route. Just rat trap on a route, not do what we had to do. And I think not from an urgency. The effort was there, tenacity was there, just execution wasn't there. And you get a hair off and you start doing different things and didn't execute. But got some big runs. Isaiah had some nice runs in the game, and we got some good plays in the game at times. First half, did a nice job, great job before the half. Again, getting a field goal in 2 minutes before the half was very critical, I thought, in the game. There. Second half is where we had 223 yards the first half. Second half is where we weren't very good. Third down's got to get better, but third down, which we've been outstanding on, like I go back and say, is because we had I think 10 third and 10 or more, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I can't remember the exact number because we weren't as good consistency on first down. Got some drives going, and then got some penalties by some guys that usually doesn't make that mistake. But hey, they're all fixable things. We'll go back, get it fixed up, and move on. But the special team, I thought we were in some parts really good. I thought our punter did a great job of keeping them. We could have tried a couple long field goals, but they weren't moving the football, and he did a great job of pinning guys inside the 10, which ended up getting us a score. I thought he was outstanding there. Our coverage teams were really good kicking the ball. I thought Seth kicked the field goals, was really good on a wet night on a wet field. If you watch that first one, his feet actually come clear out from under me, his butt, but he still made the kick. And, very tough to do in that situation. Unfortunately, had a couple penalties on punt return. We have one that I'm going to get looked at. See, I questioned the call a little bit, but we had one punt return, took it back to the 27-yard line. We got points. We're going to get there and had a penalty on that. And then had two penalties later on a couple. So we'll get those clarified, but, solid game. But, hey, we got to get a lot better. The good thing about it, we're in a good position right now. We're playing as well as a team. We're learning to win as a team. We've won 2 games this year where we haven't played as well offensively. Vanderbilt and here, and defense have been outstanding. We played 2 games. We haven't played well on defense where we didn't get a stop at Florida and didn't get many stops at Arkansas, and we went on offense. So the thing about it I'm happy is about we're learning how to win. We're learning how to play off each other and learning how to do that. And that's a big thing in which you have to learn to do when you keep taking steps and going forward. And the good thing, there's still a lot of room for improvement. So we'll continue to work them hard, get things right. I'll do a better job coaching. All of our coaches will get our guys tuned up better, put them in better position to make plays and keep going. But they're playing hard. They're playing tough. They're playing physical, and we'll get better. Questions?
First up is Owen Buchanan from TexAgs.com.
I can't hear you, Owen. You might be muted.
No, I think it's.
I got you now. Got you now, buddy.
Anyways, just a couple things. First of all, do you just look at that game for Kellen and just say, hey, sometimes you're going to have an off game and assume he'll be better moving on forward?
You do. And I say, as I look at that game, he did not play his best by far. Missed some throws, missed some things. And we rat trapped some routes around him. Like I said, we gave up some protections. We had some routes that were going to come wide open, and we're coming open. And we busted protection up front, which we haven't done all year. And he actually got rid of the football and didn't take a sack and those things. But, he wasn't as sharp. He got hit some. And that's part of it. And you got to play, and he'll make adjustments and move on. And just like he has all year and always has in his career. But some of that, too, in his defense, he did not play a good game, had some mistakes, and like he normally does, he's been playing really, really good football, but we got to play some better around him too, and some things and some plays, make some plays, protect him a little better at times, and do a better job. But yes, expect him to come back and play really well.
And can you say what Chase Lane's status is, and if Damon is available this week?
Yeah, Chase Land should be practicing today. Just got a bruise and should be good to go. And as of right now, I believe Damon will be ready this week.
Okay, thank you.
Next up is Gabe Bach from Texas.
Yeah, Coach, I want to ask you about Buddy Johnson. He was named SEC Defensive Player of the Week, another game-changing play for Buddy. Is it safe to call him your heart and soul on defense?
Well, he is. He's a senior linebacker making those calls and doing the things we do. And like I say, the whole unit's playing great. I mean, he's doing a really good job making calls, getting guys there, being a leader. He's been tremendous in what he's doing, and we're playing well around him. Like I said in that play, if you go back and look at that play, he made a great play. But Hansford, man, that rush and the way he got himself in the position, he got his body in to get pressure, and we're learning to play together as a unit. Just like as I said, they're complemented each other, pressure to coverage to all the things that are going on, and doing a really good job. But Buddy's been really good, really good.
You know, Billy brought up a good point on the radio today that, you know, Hansford, a guy from Washington, D.C., started as a receiver, tight end, and moved, was kind of buried, injured. Been real easy for a lot of guys in this world to transfer, but he stuck it out. How cool of a story for today's college football is Aaron Hansford?
A lot. I mean, you know, to persevere, go over with guys, stay in, not transfer, not leave, not get frustrated. And the thing about it, he's still got a lot of untapped potential where he's playing. I mean, he's really learning how to play, but he has a lot of ability in learning how to play that position, and hopefully the best is yet to come.
Thanks, Jimbo.
Thank you.
Next up is Tyler Shaw from KBTX.
Yeah, Coach, you said that your team is finding ways to win. You've done it on offense earlier in the year. You just did it on defense. And when you look at Auburn, last time you guys played was a really close game. Are you confident if this game on Saturday is another close one with Auburn that this team will, I guess, know how to pull it out and win?
Well, I do. I mean, listen, if you don't understand how to play close games in this league, you're in trouble. I say that hopefully it won't be close. I mean, we could play really well. I don't know, but or whatever. But at the same time, everybody has players. These games are all going to be close. They're all going to be tough. They're all coming down. Even when you win by significant numbers, if you'll watch for 3 quarters, most of those games are go back to 1 or 2 plays, change them. I mean, that's just what this league's about. That's why it's more like pro football than any league in college football because of the number of players. And yeah, I believe in our team 100% that way for sure.
Next up is Chip Howard from Sports Talk.
Jimbo, I'm looking at your schedule and who you played. It could be argued that Bo this week may be the guy who has the best escapability as quarterback. What kind of pressure does that put on a defense, and how disciplined do you have to be when you have a guy that can tuck it down and run like he can?
You really do. I mean, you can't just, as I say, they say, lay yours back and go get that quarterback. Well, all of a sudden you do, and you get undisciplined, get out of a lane, and he can break it for 8, 10, 12, 15, even longer runs. Bo is a tremendous competitor, just like his dad was, and tremendous player. And, you know, you have to have discipline, you know, whether you, even on your blitz packages, you know, making sure lanes are taken away and making sure, you know, in the coverages, if you're match coverage and you're turning your back, you know, you got to trust that those rush lanes are taken care of. And if you're in zone, you got to keep your eyes back there on the backfield and keep an eye on him when he comes out. So it's a very, very challenging thing because those are the yards say, man, that guy's got legs. Well, you know, and I always said that was a quarterback say, man, I hate playing against that guy of yours. He can scramble and make yards. I said, well, just tell me when he's going to do that, and I'll know on offense so I can call those plays. And when I'm joking about that on defense, it's the same way. You know, you got him, and all of a sudden, boom, there's one, there's another. You know what I'm saying? It's just that you cannot let up on defense when you play a guy like that. At each and every play, the discipline part of how you rush and contain a guy has got to be right on time.
And they've got a couple of all-conference caliber receivers. I wonder if you could speak to them as well.
Yeah, I mean, Seth Williams, listen, Seth is big, strong. I recruited him out of high school. He's from Tuscaloosa. I remember he came down to our camp when I was at Florida State. Big, strong, fast, can catch balls, make contested catches. Schwartz is as fast as anybody in America, can flat fly, can run away from guys, bubble screens, reverses, over-the-top posts. I mean, can do it all. Eli Stowe is a heck of a player. He's from Niceville, Florida. Knew him in high school. Was an offense, defensive player. Could be a safety, could be a receiver, could catch it, run, very tough. I mean, those guys are very dynamic in what they do, and their backs are strong. The back's a heck of a back. I mean, he's a freshman, probably going to rush for 1,000 yards. Unless, I know he got nicked up. Well, I don't know what he got last game, but he's on pace to be at that pace. And very talented group of guys around him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Travis Brown from the Eagle.
Hey, Coach. Just curious. It seems like your edge rushers have made big strides in the last 2 years, especially from last season. What have you seen in their development over this season and over the offseason that has kind of made them so much more efficient and successful this year?
Well, I think two things: experience, and I think Terry's done a great job coaching them. I think getting them to understand how to bend that corner and how to, as I say, sometimes it's not just getting bending the corner and getting free. It's speed to power and collapsing that pocket, crashing that tackle down. And sometimes as a quarterback, sometimes it's just as bad or worse when that guy's getting shoved right back on top of you, own offensive player, and learning how to mix up the rushes. And we're doing a good job of that. And those guys' experience and knowledge of what to do and how to do it, they're just getting better at it. And that's the key. You got to be able to affect the quarterback.
And then also with the contact tracing issues that happened on the last road trip, is there any differences with what y'all are going to do this go around, or is it just
Well, hopefully
the same?
it won't be clean. I mean, we'll stay apart in the dressing rooms. We'll try to take some more protocols, and I think this dressing room is a little bit bigger than the one we had at the last one. Try to make sure guys are spread out. On the meeting rooms, a lot of it on the planes. We'll try to space and keep guys that haven't had it around guys that have already contacted, have had it. You know what I mean? So your contact tracing don't go. We're mixing and matching guys on the plane, doing multiple as much as we humanly can to keep that apart.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
Next up is Brent Zwerneman from the Houston Chronicle.
Jimbo, do coaches who face each other in something like a national title game, do y'all have a unique relationship from then on moving forward? And if so, how would you describe your relationship with Gus Malzahn?
I mean, no, I wouldn't say, at least I don't. I mean, with us, Gus, but I like Gus. I think Gus is a great guy. We see each other in the meetings, very personable talks. I have a lot of respect for Gus, like studying this film. He's a great offensive mind, what he does. And he does some unorthodox things that cause you problems. You look at him, and when you go back and really study him and you talk to your defensive guys, how tough they are to handle some of the things he does. And it's unique. You love studying guys like that. But I think Gus is a quality guy, great guy. I really do. I think he's a heck of a football coach. And he's been a tough guy to compete against. That's for sure.
In terms of what is your philosophy in terms of how you handle your receivers? It seems like your receiving core. In terms of, it seems like a pretty tight rotation you use with those guys.
It is, depending on how the young guys develop or what goes on. And it's been working very good. So there's no reason to change it and keep those young guys. We had a couple guys opt out that were playing. And we're in the rotation, guys that played early, and don't have a problem putting those guys in. We got 2 or 3 other guys, but the guys we had in the game have been pretty healthy and doing a good job. So we've left it there, and we've been on a roll and playing really well. So there's no sense to do it. I've played 5 or 6 or 7, and I've played 3 to 4. I mean, I've done both, just depending on what makes your offense, the most efficient.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Mark Passwaters from Rivals.com.
Coach, you've talked about how the entire defense has looked good the last several weeks, and they worked in conjunction. But I wanted to ask you about the secondary and the corners in particular. It looks like they've really rebounded after a couple of tough weeks there early in the season.
You're right. I mean, I say that because against Arkansas, we struggled back there and did some things. And the last couple of weeks, we played well. I think I'm saying going back to fundamentals, guys getting better. Jalen's getting a lot more experience, and Nichols are doing a good job. Getting Eric Young has been good, and he's coming back in there playing good. And of course, Miles Jones has been outstanding. He's had a really, really solid year. So I think the experience of what to do, and like I say, take the coaching, and you understand when you play back there, you got to have a short memory. There's guys you're going to get beat every now and then. It's part of it. It's like quarterback. You're going to throw a bad ball. It's going to happen. You got to have a short memory. You got to understand why it happened, move on, have confidence in yourself, and don't lose that confidence and go play. And that's part of football, especially when you play good people. But very proud of the development those guys have done. Very proud.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Next up is Mike Lucas from KAGS.
Hey, Coach, what does it say about the growth of this program that even on a night where you guys didn't have your A game, you were still able to beat a good SEC opponent in relatively convincing
Well, that's
fashion?
what I'm hoping we understand. And that, I don't mean this a bad way. I don't know I don't know if we win that game before. I don't. I really don't, because, we struggled in some areas, but we still fought. And, the defense rose up, just kept going higher and higher. And the offense just kept plugging along, doing what they could. Special teams stayed in it. And you have to learn to do that. There's going to be games like that. Like I said earlier, when the defense struggled in games and offense, we said, okay, we got to score 6 times in a row or 7 times. Okay, let's do it. What makes a difference? And you learn to do that. Now, sometimes you can't, but, I think, and nobody's pointing fingers. Nobody's saying, hey, you didn't do your job. And when you play a team sport, and that's why football is such a great game, it's you got to feed off each other and do what you have to do to be successful. I'm very proud of these guys. And our defense did that the other night for the offense, and offense has done it for the defense at times. And I think that's why it keeps these guys in a very tight-knit group of guys, and very proud of the development we've made as an organization.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Next up is Zach Taylor from WTIW.
Yeah, Jimbo, as someone who spent his college career in Alabama and obviously a lot of time at Auburn as an assistant, do you get a bit of nostalgia when you go back?
Yeah, I mean, you have memories and times, and you had some good times, and until they all start yelling at you, knowing they're going to beat you, they're trying to beat you, then that goes out the window. But yeah, I mean, you do. Yeah, because listen, I have great respect for Auburn. I mean, I have great respect for that state. Understand it. Coach there was some great time. We had a 20-game winning streak while I was there. We had some great players, great All-Americans. I mean, a run there that was really, really good. Went to an SEC championship, 20 in a row, bowl games every year. I mean, it was a really good time, and a lot of respect for those people, and still have some friends there.
Thanks.
Next up is Andrew Hattersley from Gig'em 247.
My question was actually asked, so I'm good.
Okay, you got it answered? Good.
Okay, we will move on to Justin Woodard at KAGS.
Coach, more back to the receivers again. What do you need to see from them to rebound on out wide and in the slot for those guys?
Well, those guys, just get back to what we're doing, be consistent on routes, steps, catching the ball, and us getting the ball on time. And we had opportunity. We missed some reads that could have got them the ball. They had some routes they could have cleaned up. I mean, just consistency and don't press yourself. Try to keep pushing, trying to make big plays. Just make the plays in front of you and relax. They've done it all year and have done that. Think they'll come back and play well. I mean, it wasn't disastrous, but it was enough of when everybody takes a turn. It does look, and you don't understand that. People think you're crazy when you say that, but you get so many possessions, and all of a sudden 2 linemen take a turn, and a receiver takes a turn, and a tight end takes a turn, and a quarterback takes 2 or 3 turns, and all of a sudden the running back takes a turn. That's all your drives. And I mean, you get behind the sticks, don't pick up a third down, and we had a couple third downs that we were an inch short. I mean, they come back and reevaluate it and remarked it, and I mean, you fight for. I always talk about you fight for those inches. And that's what we got to go back and do, and just go back to fundamentals and play well.
All right, next up is Chuck Carlton from the Dallas Morning News, and then we'll finish with Gabe.
Jimbo, just revisiting Buddy Johnson just a little bit. Beyond his on-the-field contributions, especially before this season began with all the uncertainty with COVID and that sort of thing, he seemed to give you a lot of leadership. I think he had a tweet.
Buddy's a bad guy. He ain't worth a flip.
Yeah.
Man. You can't count on him. Now he's standing back here. I'm just giving him a hard time. He's getting ready to come on. And his off-field leadership and direction of the kids and keeping guys contained and remind them to stay quarantined or out of the melee, I guess, of people and be disciplined and things he did an outstanding job on our off season and what he's doing. Our kids have tremendous respect for him. He's doing, like I say, the things that are happening on the field are no surprise because he does them off the field.
All right, we'll finish up with Gabe Bach from Texas.
Jimbo, sticking with the defensive theme, DeMarvin Leal was named SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week. Obviously had a huge week. I'm wondering what impresses you most about him as a player.
How much he loves ball. I mean that. The way he plays, he's at home on the football field. I mean, everybody says that, but I mean, this guy he loves practice. He loves lifting weights. He loves running. All the things about ball. That's the thing about Marv that really I love. And because those guys, when you love something that much and you love all the things you have to do to be good, not just everybody wants to play and play well, but he loves all the things that go with having to play well. It's very exciting. His leadership, he does a great, in practice, he is never quiet, and it's not from a bad way. Whether he's challenging an offensive guy, whether he sees an offensive guy not playing well, he has no problem walking over and challenging, hey, we got to do this better for our team, or a defensive guy that gets beat by an, you can't, you know what I mean? It's just a constant leadership and command that he has a joy being on the football field. He really does. And he has natural leadership skills. He's a very intelligent young man and loves all the things that goes with it, and just very proud that he's on our football team, because it's not only is he playing well himself, he affects the other guys on the team in a great way, offensively and defensively. Special teams too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's all the questions we have for you, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Hey, Coach.